Okay.
Hello everyone! Normally I introduce by saying hello Pikmin lovers, but not this time because I have to stop doing that. I should probably also change my name at some point because using Pikmin isn't exactly copyright. Anyway, today we all just got home from watching Shin Godzilla. Now this will be us talking about it. It's just a normal discussion, a very laid back, very simple video. It's kind of like an extended review. You may have seen something like this before. There will be some background noise that I cannot control, including a washing machine, and we have a parrot that sometimes makes sound, so if you hear the squawking and the different sounds that she makes, like that, like little clucks. Yeah.
Meowing like a cat. Okay, Polly.
Yes, hopefully it's not too distracting, and hopefully it'll all work out. So, we all just watched Shin Godzilla. So what did you guys think of it?
You wanna go first?
Oh, I should probably introduce all of you. Okay, so I'm Pikminjake, of course. This is Olivia. She voices Pik-pik as well as Blossom, and she's going to be voicing a new character in Starlight Platinum. This is my mother. She's what made me who I am, in every sense of the word. She's my mother.
You're gonna make me cry.
And then that is my Uncle Patrick. He is a big part of my life, and that's my pigeon flying in.
You forgot that I voiced the mother.
Oh yeah, my mother also voiced Filipina, the Twig's mother. Patrick has yet to voice anyone inside my show because I've not found a fit role for him. Alright, yes, hopefully soon. Alright, so back to where we were. Just ignore the birds. So what did you guys think of Shin Godzilla? Just a really quick, just general notes.
How about you start, and then we can
No, let me do my rant.
Sure, yeah, you do
my rant.
You do your rant. You do.
First, can we get one thing off the table so I can talk about what I enjoyed about that film?
Sure.
Anno. Through the role of that half American, half Japanese girl down the garbage with casting someone who could not speak any English.
Yeah.
Anno, there are many. Yeah, my parrot agrees. You have many talented half Japanese, half American women in your country that could do that role perfectly, but you butchered it by casting someone who can't speak English. All the other actors, some of them you could tell could not speak a word of English. Even they did better than this girl. Now this girl, I'm sure she's brilliant in other roles. That role was garbage. When she came on scene, I was hoping she was going to be Godzilla's answer to Misato.
You tell him, Polly.
Yeah, Polly, you ream him out.
Go!
Anyway, that role was garbage. And every time that woman opened her mouth, or didn't open her mouth because she couldn't or forgot her line, well, it looked like she forgot her line. Anyway, I got irritated and I wanted to just stop watching the movie. Her role aside, that movie, I was moved to tears. Practically, Godzilla, I love him, I feel sorry for him. The first time he opened his mouth, and it reminded me of the plug suits not the plug suits, what are they called?
Ava's Angels?
The Ava units, when they are in pain and attacked in the battle scenes. It was like watching a live action Ava, and watching this made me think they could do a live action Ava and pull it off and it would be beautiful. It was very much Ava. The way they had the text overlay throughout the entire thing.
Even that part with the train where we need to put everything to a halt, and then they showed the train stopping.
Yeah. Battle music, everything was very Ava, but it was also very original Godzilla with some of the shots, and it had that not scushy feel to it. So, if you want to explain to your viewers what that is, that nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Shin Godzilla was directed, I believe it was co-directed by by Hideaki Anno, the creator of Evangelion, and he directs the rebuilds. He also did, what shows did he did? He did Nadia, the Secret of the Blue Water. He did Gunbuster. He did
Karekano.
Karekano. What else has he done? His live-action library is very small. He did some live-action shorts when he was as a student in college, I'm not sure which one, which were just parodies of, I believe it was Kamen Rider. It was some kind of, it was something in that genre of like kind of like pseudo before Super Sentai, but kind of like you know what I mean. I don't know what that genre is. People dressed in costumes fighting each other in miniatures of the city. The only other live-action films that Hideaki Anno has done is 2 films based off of novels, I believe, and then a live-action adaptation of Cutie Honey, which I have not seen any of those movies, so I cannot say if they're any good. However, his animation is great. I love his animation work and directing that, and I'm also this movie pretty much shows that he's a pretty competent live-action director.
He's an amazing director. The movie was brilliant, except for that girl. That girl was garbage.
And so, watching this, I went into this movie not as a Godzilla fan, but more as a Hideaki Anno fan, and it's because I love Evangelion. I think it's pretty clear. I have seen the 2014 Godzilla, but I have not seen any other Godzilla movies. What about you guys?
All the shots from like the helicopter, like the aerial shots, and the shots where he's walking on land. I don't know if we can give spoilers or not.
Oh yeah, this is total spoilers. You can, I'll have it right in the title, spoilers. So you don't need to.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of like the shots from the distance when he's on the water, that's very like similar to like classic Godzilla.
And it captured that feeling, and even though they had modernized even like the laser that comes out of his mouth, it was still very...
Which was like... blew you away.
had not Scotchy
But
feeling.
at first you're like, wait, oh, it's just fire, but then it's like concentrated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I absolutely loved this movie. I loved everything about it. I loved it. I liked it a lot more than the 2014 Godzilla, but I don't think it's really fair to compare them because they're so totally different. This Shin Godzilla is like a callback to the original, while what company made the new Godzilla? What studio?
Toho.
No, I mean the 2014 one. The American one.
That's the problem, it was American.
I forget which studio made it. I know that they were given the permission to do it by Toho, but it had not, like, Toho didn't really have that much to do with it. You could tell that that movie was more like the later Godzilla movies, where it was about the monsters fighting, the kaiju fighting, I should say, rather than, you know, the whole environmental message, the whole governmental message, the society. There's a lot of messages there, and it has to do with all just nuclear weapons and nuclear waste and all that, and it's a very powerful message that the original film conveyed. I haven't seen it, that's what I assume, and this one definitely conveys that, and I loved it.
It's also very terrifying. This film also conveyed how much responsibility and power the government holds, and how much they delay when they make their decisions to do anything. They delay, and they actually put people's lives at risk, and it was kind of like a really in-depth look on how Japanese government works.
Oh yeah.
And it's scary. It's scary. They could easily have said, you know, let people know, let them run and escape, but instead they had to like, no, we have to wait for the perfect moment, we have to know for sure, we have to know for sure. Disregard what you're seeing on the media. People are dying, people are dying, people are dying. Yeah. And it's the same with natural disasters and stuff, and it's in war, it's scary.
Oh, I think it's because though they didn't want to see their country something like that happen to it. That's what they kept putting off.
Yeah.
destroying their own country because of this monster.
But even
meanwhile, it's destroying everything.
But even the evacuation part, it wasn't so much the fact that they delayed on, you know, the nukes. It was the fact that they were delaying on informing the public.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually harmed the safety of the people.
Yeah.
And you could see the frustration in that one guy. He was more forward thinking, not the way the government thinks now.
Yeah.
He was more forward thinking and saying, you know, we shouldn't have wasted time.
Yeah.
We should have acted right away. We shouldn't have hesitated. Because we hesitated, we fucked up.
Even right away at the start of the movie.
There's gonna be swearing in this video, by the way.
Start of the movie, they're like, they're all in the room and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And meanwhile, the people are like posting things about it.
Oh, yeah.
And they already know what's going on. And they're like, oh.
It also,
It's not
yeah,
a
it shows
monster.
that media works faster than the government can.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely important in this day and age, especially with what's going on politically right now. I don't know if this video will be viewed in like 5 years, so I won't even bring it up. It'll date this video severely.
One thing I learned is if we ever have something like that actually ever happen, or a natural disaster, I am not going underground. Those people were fucked. They got those people underground. Those people were fucked. Don't fall for that. That's some scary shit. Those people did not come out of those tunnels. Game over.
Game over, man.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Olivia noticed something about the Twitter.
Oh yeah, a little Easter egg.
Little
You
Easter
find one of the Twitter users' icons is Asuka.
From Ava. So it was funny how Olivia noticed it. It was probably. Are you a fan of Ava?
No, I'm not
not
even
at
a
all.
fan, and I saw it.
None of us, none the rest of us are all watched all of Ava and nothing. We didn't even notice it, and it's such a big, significant Easter egg because I mean, I was expecting something to be actually on that topic. The use of decisive battle, like the song, I think they used it like 7 times.
Yeah.
But it was all different.
All different every single time. And I mean that song it's not even an Ava song. It's actually from James Bond.
But we know it as the Ava song.
We know it as the Ava song, and when I use it in my videos, it's because it's the Ava song. But I think that the reason it's the same composer. That's the reason why they're using it. I think the reason why is it's meant to just be like a tactical song, like a. It's such a simple song that can be applied to anything. It doesn't necessarily make you think of Ava, but it does. And because it was used in Ava. But yeah, it can be used in any actual thing. Oh, I was gonna say, the composer, Shiro Sagisu, I probably butchered that
You
name.
did. Don't ever do that again.
Okay, so you say it then.
What's his?
Shiro
Shiro. Sagisu.
No, Sagisu.
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 Shiro.
Sagisu.
Shiro.
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 Shiru. Shiro.
Shido.
Shiro
White
じゃない。
people.
Shiro.
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 Shiro Sagisu-san.
He composed all the music for the original Ava and the rebuilds of Ava, as well as the Karakano, another show. Oh, and Nadia, The Secret of the Blue Water. I think. I cannot confirm that. I think so. In the music, well, for one, he used the song Famously, which was from Ava 3.33 specifically. Literally, it wasn't even different. It was the exact same song. They just transferred it from 3.33 straight into Shin Godzilla. The other songs, the vocals are all in English. I don't know if you noticed, but when he first attacks Tokyo City, they're singing Tokyo City.
Yeah, we heard that was quite something.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm used to it with the Ava soundtracks because they're always like that, but just straight up Tokyo City. The other Ava songs are usually like, oh, the angels are attacking, God can't save us, stuff like that, but where it's like, biblical
I
nonsense.
heard, yeah, it was eerie and weird, and but the whole time I'm like, please don't kill Godzilla. That poor baby.
Oh my god.
He's just covered in lice. Please pick the alien lice off of him, and he won't hurt you anymore.
I thought
That's why.
like they should have done a better job of making him appear to be more of a villain. To me, he was just, you know, he reminded me of our pigeons, probably just marching through one of Jake's Lego sets and it's just destroyed it. Just
Yeah.
A googly-eyed, brainless, poor baby.
Yeah, this thing probably, like, it doesn't even eat humans. It has no plan to, like, its plan isn't to destroy Tokyo or anything like that. It just happens to be walking through it, and
Its plan is to eat your fucking nuclear waste and clean shit up. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're killing it.
which was super upsetting. And, you know, there was something else I noticed at one point in the movie when they're saying Godzilla is God. They didn't expand on that.
I don't think they wanted to, and I think that they shouldn't have. I like
Well,
that.
but
it
I
was
wanted to
subtle.
know what the public thought of that. There was obviously protest against killing this thing, but we didn't get to see that side.
There's
Yeah,
a
they
wiki.
did.
There's a wiki on it. You can look it up.
Yeah, there was a part when they were like, save Godzilla.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know there was that part. I was just trying to say that I don't think it's important. I think what was important there is strictly the government and what they were thinking.
The name,
Because-
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the name is very important. Otherwise, they would not have spent a few scenes talking about the kanji of the name and its relation to God.
Well, no.
It was important, and that's what I'm saying. There is actually a wiki on it. You can look it up. There's a reason why his name is Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I get that. What I was trying to say is that I think that expanding on it wasn't necessary for the film itself. I think it was fine as is.
Obviously the director realized that because they actually say, like, let's not focus on the name, let's move
Yeah.
on. But it had to be done, had to be said.
Definitely.
It's just, I don't know. I wish we got to see that point of view.
I think that the 2014 Godzilla and the older Godzilla movies definitely conveyed that point of view. What? Sorry?
We just about had a cat fight on camera.
Yeah, stopped it from happening.
The 2014 Godzilla, it definitely does a better job of conveying that, where they at first they think Godzilla is the enemy, but then you learn that no, it's more of like a peacekeeper, and it's not trying to destroy anything the humans make. It lives in the ocean and just kills other kaiju, kind of like while the other kaiju were the pests. In this one, it's conveyed that this kaiju, Godzilla, is a pest and was going to procreate and eventually take over the planet. And that's why they had to destroy him, otherwise everything on Earth would have been taken over. It's very much Eva in the way that was handled. That's literally the same plot as the Angels, way more simplified. But I mean, the battle of Evangelion is all about the humans saying we want to protect Earth the way it is, and the Angels want to take over the planet.
The fact that Godzilla is an organism and technically it would be like a natural disaster, it's just the fact that humans will go to great lengths to stop something that is natural,
Yeah.
and it's selfish.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the one woman says, like, Godzilla is terrible, but humans are more terrible.
Yes. Humans are more frightening. And, I mean, that's basically, like, I think that's the message of the movie is, I mean, even the 2014 movie, that was kind of the message too. Like, they were trying to kill Godzilla, but in the end, he was a good person. Good person.
He didn't really have a brain.
Good guy, Godzilla.
Just googly eyes.
the-
Resembled a goldfish, actually.
The ending, the final shot of that movie, it's definitely open. I don't think there's going to be a sequel. We talked about it inside the car. Basically, at the very, very end, I don't know if you've watched this and you picked it up. At the very, very end, on the tail, it's like opened up, and they look like the failures of infinity, as the community. Actually, no, it's called that in 3.33. In 3.33, after near third impact, I mean, there was just giant humanoid, like, things, creatures that are just frozen, like exactly the same way as on the tail of Godzilla, and it reminded me of that. I don't think there's any connection to Eva.
There was one thing that looked like the alien head, though.
Yeah, it was definitely very alien in its design, very H.R. Geiger. I think that it's definitely very open to what that ending means. Like, is that not the end of Godzilla? Does that mean there's going to be another movie? I don't think so. I think Anno's done with that.
He said, do with it what you like.
Yeah.
Do with it what you like.
The co-director on that was the guy who directed the Attack on Titan live-action movies, which Chris loves Attack on Titan, and he says the movies are terrible. I have not seen
it. You could see the Attack on Titan influence in the way Godzilla was animated.
He was half animated, half a costume, and I know I read somewhere that Anno himself was in the costume at some points, which is hilarious.
I'd like to know what scene that was.
Yeah. Or if that's even true.
It was cool, actually, if you look at some of the scenes, not like of Godzilla, but just like ordinary scenes, they were actually animated. Not all of them were real.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, it wasn't even CGI, like, it was just animation.
There's actually one shot from, like, after he was, like, burning everything, where it actually looked like it was drawn. It was just, like, fire and then, like, the city buildings. And I thought, like, I couldn't even tell if it was drawn or if it was...
It was just really realistic drawings.
It was beautifully composed.
Can I quickly say, in the beginning, I really liked Anno's shout out to otakus. Did you hear that? Did you catch that when they were in that room and they said, we're going to drop the formalities, we're all just regular people, and he did the shout out to otakus.
Oh yeah,
like we're just a bunch of nerds all hanging out.
And that was Gainax back in the day. Like they were so against every other animation studio. They just wanted to do whatever the heck they wanted, and it really shows in Anno's work. He doesn't care what he's showing on the screen, and usually when he makes movies, they're kind of half funny, even if they're serious. Like they're half silly. It's usually very outlandish themes and events, like Godzilla attacking, but he does it in a way that's an entertaining version of a series. Like he'll convey a message that's serious in an entertaining way, and that's what I love about Anno's directing style. Where a lot of American style, it's either you're trying to make a deep message with like a drama that's like Oscar bait, or you're trying to just do straight up entertainment like an action movie like Marvel. There's nothing in between, and I really like Anno's directing style because that's what he does. He's right in between. He can be entertaining and deep at the exact same time.
Yeah.
When I mean entertainment, I mean like mind numbing. So it's like this is just silly, but it also has a deeper message.
Yeah. No. Looking at Godzilla's face, I'm forced to laugh out loud, but also the tears are streaming from my eyes because I feel so sorry for him.
I felt sorry for
such a goofball.
I felt sorry for the people in that movie, like in the characters, because like so many people were killed off, and the prime minister was killed, and they had no choice but get the agriculture minister.
You know what though? It's the prime minister's fault for hesitating. If he didn't dick around like he did throughout the entire movie, he would have lived. Right?
Yeah, maybe. Olivia, did you have anything else to say at all? Like, just your opinions on the movie?
I kind of already
said it.
I felt sympathy for the beast.
Yeah, it was both of them. Patrick, did you feel sympathy for the beast?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
But when the movie ends, they talk about how, you know, they're planning that it's going to awaken.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to. That's what they were like, set another timer, and then.
But then they
have
also
to deal with it again.
But they also talked about the isotopes, like how quickly the radiation's gonna go away.
Yeah.
So it could die without eating or whatever, right?
But they were unsure. It was left very open. Yeah. I don't know. I think my favorite parts were they would come up with like what was the weapons that were used.
Yeah.
I love that. The tanks and the helicopters and all, like I would just tell you like what they're using, and then the lasers from his back.
That whole like introducing and explaining everything with the subtitles, it was used in Eva for a lot of it, but it wasn't used as extensively as it was here in this movie. And if you go into and play 1.11, Evangelion 1.11, you can turn on a special feature that's like, I think it's called like the explanation version, and it does exactly that. Like everything that pops onto screen, it explains it. And it says like, oh, the tank division, what the tank specs are, and everything.
But even the font was the same.
The font was the same.
The font was the same as Evangelion, and it's just it gets you.
Oh yeah.
There was only one moment where I was like, I was thinking, okay, the audience doesn't know what is even being shown on the screen. And that was when it was all the tweets and like the messages. And they were just all Japanese and like nothing was said about them.
No.
I could actually hear like people in the like some people that was like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, they're all otaku. Everyone in the audience was an Eva fan, and you could tell like they were all dressed up. Like they weren't dressed up like costume or anything, but you can tell.
All t-shirts and.
Yeah, they were wearing like their Eva t-shirts. They were all talking about Evangelion, and they were talking. They all were otaku.
You know they were otaku because when Funimation was flashed on the screen, someone behind me whispered, "You should be watching." And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by them.
It was, this was a big event. It was a limited release. They only played this movie in a couple theaters in North America, USA and Canada. I don't know about Mexico. I don't think Mexico. USA and Canada. And it was only on certain days. This theater that was actually just down the street, this was the only showing that it had, this movie. And it reminds me of the showing of the Dragon Ball movies, which for a while what was like the big deal in Japan was when they released the Eva movies. They were animated movies that were getting like as high as Ghibli movies or even higher. Like they were huge because of how popular Eva was. Dragon Ball had that exact same thing. Like they were huge. They were going above Ghibli movies. For the first time, an animated film in a while has been going higher than that. You know, breaking the box office in Japan. So Funimation would bring these movies out and have limited releases. For Eva, though, I don't know about 1 or 2 for the rebuilds. However, 3.33 had the most limited release. It was stupid. They had one showing in one theater at like a Comic-Con, and it was the old dub. The old dub of the movie, not the one that is on my Blu-ray, because the reason why the movie was delayed for release out in North America is because they completely redubbed the whole movie because one of the directors was like, I hate this. So that's I'm hoping that with the 4th rebuild they do a limited release like they did with Shin Godzilla, and that way it will be even bigger of an event. You know, you really go there and the people would be really into it, very much into the event, but you can tell here they're a little bit more relaxed. They're here because of Anno, they're not here because of Godzilla. Some of them probably are, but I mean, I sure was. I love Godzilla, but
you know that through my work, some of the headache about getting these movies released over here and getting the license approved. And actually, it's the same, it goes through almost the same idiotic bureaucracy as like in that movie where it's like they have to wait for the perfect moment before they say yes, and you've got to go through all these different levels in order to get the okay, and they're so strict over there that they hold on, even though they want globalization, they don't want to release
because
over here.
It could fail.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that little turnout, that little theater was packed. So, I mean, obviously, you know, if they did like maybe an extra showing, a lot of those same people would probably show up with different, like with friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they would still, the money would be made, but they have to be careful.
Funimation was very lucky to get the license.
Oh, definitely.
Very, very lucky. And God bless them for going through that headache to get it, because that's a headache dealing with that.
wrap it up just yet, because I know there's a couple things I wanted to say.
You don't think people are going to be bored of seeing our four faces?
Usually for these types of videos, they'll just have it on in the background and listen to it. I know that's.
I'm actually surprised though that there was only like one showing.
One showing.
Like, I think that like more people would definitely know than like having which one showing. Right? Like it was entertaining.
Oh yeah.
People liked it.
When it was released to DVD and Blu-ray, obviously, I'll get it.
We're going to be on that.
Yeah.
We are going to be on that.
And I will show it to all my friends because unfortunately they weren't able to see the screening. And I know they'll love it because they all like Ava, except for one guy doesn't. But I'm sure he'll love this movie. There's something. Oh yeah, another connection to Ava. Basically, I mean, if you're watching this video and you've either watched the movie, or you're interested in the movie but wasn't able to see it, or you just are completely bored and you're just watching this because I'm attached to it and it's really long and it's like, what is this? If you like the first episode of Ava, just that all the tactical planning and all the tanks and all just fighting a monster that cannot be destroyed, that's basically the movie for like a full 90 minutes. Well, it was more like 2 hours, really. It was 2 hours of just the first half of Evangelion episode 1 for 2 hours, and it's like, when I first heard that, I'm like, is that any good? But then I realized, oh, that is very good. That's like, I draw, like, I'm very inspired by that first half of the first episode of Ava, and this movie was like, it's realized. And, like, for the longest time, I've wanted to make a movie like that, like how Shin Godzilla was, and the way that I saw that, I'm like, it can be done, and I feel more confident in myself from actually watching it. I mean, I'm not going to make that exact movie. I'm definitely never going to make a Godzilla movie.
Excited to see that.
But I mean, that idea was obviously because I like Ava, and that's what inspires me. But that movie was just. It was everything I wanted. It was what I was expecting.
Everything, and the Maru-chan ramen. Did you guys see the Maru-chan ramen?
No.
Maru-chan ramen sales are gonna skyrocket. I guarantee you when you go to the Asian market next time, it's gonna be sold out in our local locations because that was filled with Maru-chan ramen.
Just product placement?
Yeah, and I have a question. Like, if anyone out there who knows Maru-chan ramen, cup noodle, bowl noodle, knows what I'm talking about. If you know if they have a limited release Godzilla version of it, I want that shit. You tell me, you link me up to whatever Amazon site sells it. I want to get my hands on that. Because seriously, they were literally, there was a garbage bag full of Maru-chan. The guy was holding the Maru-chan. The guy was bitching about his noodles getting too soft.
Oh yeah.
Like, now I want ramen.
A lot of the merchandise for Godzilla, it came and went, like because it was all limited release. A lot of it was like crossover with Ava, and it sold out so fast because this movie did so well in the box office in Japan, so well, ridiculously well.
I want to see Maru-chan. I'm sorry, that's what they were eating. I want it.
I was also gonna just make a note of the cinematography. I noticed this with Japanese filmmaking and animation. They, unlike American animation, they put the subject of the shot right in the middle of the shot. Which, I do that a lot, but that's just because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. I didn't know about the whole rule of thirds, which is what a lot of American Western cinema literally, everything is based on the rule of thirds. But to see it basically not used very much at all, at least a lot less in Shin Godzilla, it was interesting. Like every single shot, whenever they were looking at another character when they're talking, instead of being in a third of the way inside the shot, they were always in the middle. And
but that's very much like Japanese
it's
film.
Very Japanese style.
Which is, there was one scene towards the end where, you know, where that stupid girl that was pretending to be American, she was talking with the guy about going back to America because she didn't want to see Japan nuked again. they did that long shot where it was like the weirdest shot in the entire movie, where they're talking and it's panning away from them and you can still sort of see them. But it was the weirdest shot and the most distinct shot from all of the other angles in the movie.
I liked it. It made me think about what was at stake there. It wasn't just the two people, it wasn't just the two main characters. It was trying to outline that all of Tokyo was going to be destroyed. And the more it kept on zooming out, it's like, yeah, this is a big picture. They're just two tiny people in this big thing, and it really made you, like, I didn't think about it. It didn't click, and I don't know why it didn't click until they said a third bombing. And there's only ever been 2 nuclear bombs, and they've both been in Japan. So I mean, just right there alone, because I was thinking, like, obviously the next, if they can't destroy it with like bombs, the next logical step is to use a nuke. And it wasn't until I realized, what am I saying? That would be the third nuke used. That would be the third nuke used on Japan. They have just such a terrible.
When they thought about using a nuke on this thing, I just believed that it would just absorb it.
That would probably happen if that did happen. I mean, I wonder if the same concepts were used in the original Godzilla or not.
I don't remember.
Or wasn't Tokyo meant to be bombed with the original too? Wasn't that one of the original targets? Or was it going to be like the third target or something?
I don't remember either.
But
it was fucked up, the targets that the US picked, because the areas that got impacted the most, they were innocent people. They weren't even government.
No.
And it was like not just regular people, not like
it was terrible. And
it was all because fuck you, US. Sorry.
I know. I mean, the U.S. has it's gone through a lot of change since World War II. I mean, the whole world's gone through a lot of change since World War II, and it was shown inside that movie that they weren't nuking them because they didn't like Japan. It was because they were worried that they were in danger.
Yeah.
And they were helping them out. I mean, the UN was still helping them out. They were planning on giving them money to rebuild.
It was just sad, though, that they were actually considering doing it only because they thought the rest of the world would turn their backs on them.
Yeah.
And that's sad, that basically they had to kill themselves before, they were considering killing themselves before the rest of the world went and turned the bombs on them.
Yeah.
So they were gonna commit seppuku. That's...
Yeah, and then
sad.
there was a part when they were saying, if it was New York, they'd do the same. But it's
That's
like,
bullshit.
you have the whole other part of the country. It's like, Japan's the size of, like, what? It's tiny.
It's
Yeah.
tiny.
It'd be gone, and you got the rest of America.
You could
Great.
fit like 10 of them in our province alone, if not more.
Unmanned train bombs.
That was amazing. That was amazing. If even if the rest of the film was shit, those scenes alone, those train bombs. Thank you. When they all. Thank you. It was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want a sequel to this movie. I think it's perfectly fine as is. And honestly, that final shot just terrified me. A lot of the shots, like, this movie actually really scared me because they made it seem like this thing is unstoppable. This thing is like destroying people and it doesn't care. It was terrifying to look at, and that final shot was just scary. Like, it made me think of Aliens. Definitely. And Aliens was scary because it was...
He wasn't meaning to kill people, though. You gotta understand, this thing was just... Look at it from outside point of view. Let's not give a shit about any of the other characters. And he's crawling up on land. He needs to cool down. He's just living his natural life cycle. He's trying to protect himself. He's infested with alien lice.
Not alien.
Well, he's infested with something that's crawling all over his tail and pissing him off.
It was like it was opening up, like he was evolving. That was gonna
I
be his
don't think
next
so.
one.
It looked like they were attacking him.
No, they were coming off of him. It was breaking apart.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because if you actually looked at it, his tail was totally different. It was like it was falling apart.
To me, it looked like it was covered and it was... Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see like the blood and like everything was being like it was like as if the body was being broken apart. Which is it was just.
I have a different take on it.
I kind of agree with her. Like, it could be like a parasite.
Yeah.
I mean, parasites can be part of an animal's life cycle.
He was very docile when he crawled up onto land. His intention was, yes, he was destroying things in his path, but his intention was not to maim, kill, and destroy. His intention was just to get up on land and cool down. He couldn't help it that there was things in the way. I mean, shit, when we walk through the forest, how many creatures do we destroy when we walk through and we don't watch where we're going, right? We crush anything in the way. He was the same. And it wasn't until they started attacking him that's when he brought out the fire and the lasers, but it was self-defense. Any animal does that.
Yeah, but
the problem
they don't have that much power.
Yeah, the problem was this was something created by man.
Yeah.
This is the radiation, and this was something that was going to destroy man and everything else on the earth.
Through no fault of its own, it's just trying to survive.
It's like if you give birth to a child, it was created by man, but if it's alive and it's moving.
Did they not mention at any point when they were talking about like the stuff that was coming off of it that it was like eggs or like?
Yeah, no, its scale was. They're saying that they weren't sure, but they were
guessing it was asexual.
And it was going to reproduce like a sponge.
Yeah, so that could potentially be what those things were, and then maybe they wouldn't turn out to be like him because he was such a diverse, like, evolving creature, right? Like,
and
origami stuff. And,
if the things at the very end did, I don't know if it's just meant to be like the failures of infinity, like they're just like random, like they're humanoid shapes to like represent like that, like more symbolic meaning, and like humanity is like this is man straight up attacking back, or that it was made of man the whole time. I don't know what it meant, but I don't know.
That paper crane too in the beginning, that was very symbolic too. That was very like, this movie is to make you remember World War II.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they reference it all the time. Like, this is the first time where actually military might's going to be used since World War II. And
back on the fact that it's man-made, and my comparison to like a child, you know, like people have the option in the very beginning, early stages of like, you know, before you give birth, to abort a child. But it was almost like, man, if they did create this thing, waited too long, and now they're killing a being, in a sense. And, you know, things could have been stopped way earlier in the stage. But they just let it grow because, I don't know what to do. We have to wait.
Yeah.
we're approaching the end here. We're running out of space on the camera. So basically, if you haven't seen Shin Godzilla, and if you like Godzilla or Eva, please go watch it. Go buy it. It is amazing. Amazing movie. Definitely, like, Hideaki Anno does it again. He's working on 4.44 now, or now it's been renamed 3.0, 1.0 plus 3.0. So 1.11 plus 3.33. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I mean, I love the movie. It was a big event for me. I'm the reason I got them to all buy tickets.
I would have gone, Jake.
Well, no. I mean, like, I was the one who told you guys about it. But
yes, no, thank you for telling us.
Those are
We're
all my
excited.
points.
he used his points on his card in order to buy the tickets. So
4,000.
yeah. 1,000 points. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, we all enjoyed it. I think. Yeah, it was like, I think definitely go buy it. Go support Funimation. They're great people. They do a good job. Go support Ava, even though it already has a lot of support.
Go support Anno.
Go support Anno, because he's a great director, and I'm very biased by saying that, and by saying that he's my favorite director. Basically anything he makes, I can say it's the greatest thing ever, but that's just because I'm biased. So thank you all for watching. I don't think I'll be ever doing this sort of thing ever again, but if it happens, I don't know, watch, everyone will be like...
No one's gonna watch this video.
You know, sometimes I will...
He had to chain her to the couch in order to do this.
And
She
even got...
did not want to do this.
Alright, thank you.
Goodbye.